Good evening.
Good evening. First question about your organization. What is your goal?
So Pal-Pac, it's actually a political action committee. So that's important to know because we're not only an organization, but we're an organization that's able to donate money to different political causes and politicians as well. And the goal in general is really to get the Polish community to unite. Okay, and it's maybe difficult to do, but there's certain issues we feel that are important to all Polish Americans in our community, and so we want to know what those issues are, and we want to get the Polish community behind those issues so that we have a larger voice. There's always strength in numbers, and there's so many Polish Americans in Chicago that it's a shame that we don't have a larger voice. So that's really the main goal.
Do you think the young Polonia, what do you think about young Polonia? They will be involved in your organization?
We're forcing them to be involved. So we actually have even recruited a lot of young adults, young professionals, and I'm joking, of course, that we force them because they're interested in participating too. So there's been a junior board that we've established, and the junior board consists of a lot of young professionals, young adults in their 20s or so, that we feel will be really the generation that will make a difference for the Polish American community, and we want them to get more involved and kind of get them ready for what's to come in the future. And so that's, I think, probably the number one most important thing for us to do right now.
Good, very good. So what's gonna happen tonight?
Oh, tonight, again, I'll be probably saying a lot of the same things because it's going to be an introduction of the organization. This is our first inaugural gala, so it's very important to us, and I think we have a great crowd here, and we're expecting even more to come. And we're going to introduce the board members and the junior board. I'm going to say a couple things about the organization. We're going to invite some politicians to come on stage and say a few words to our crowd. And then the dancing and fun part begins.
Good evening.
Good evening. Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry wieczór. We have a few questions. First question is about the Pal-Pac. What do you think about the organization?
I think this is wonderful. This is the gala, and when you look at what the Polish community has brought to the state of Illinois, we deserve this gala. We deserve better representation for the Polish community, and I'm happy to be here. And I think it's the best thing that ever happened. I will not miss it. Even today we celebrate Puerto Rican Independence Day. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I was at the parade today, so this is my second event, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. And how you think, like your position, from your position, how you can help the organization? Do you think like you can help the Pal-Pac somehow?
Absolutely. And we're here to say, it's about time. Number one. Number two is that, we're elected officials, and we need to support every political action committee that comes here and does the work of the people. And so I'm very happy to be here to represent my Polish community, because I proudly represent them. And I said, yeah, I'll do whatever it takes to make this movement go forward. Thank you.
What do you think about the visa waiver?
It's about time. I think we need to change this. We need to get rid of this. We need to make sure that the Polish community can come here and back and forth anytime. I mean, it's about time that we do this. And if this is the role that we have to take, why not? We have. I hope we get some of the high-powered elected officials that are here tonight that can understand and listen to the Polish community's needs. And I believe in that as well.
But what do you think, like the last days is so many deportation, so it's like a sign that something will happen?
My concern is that, we're the only state that hasn't done it. Just recently, the immigration thing, and I would love to speak to State Senator U.S. Senator Mark Kirk, who I love dearly. And I don't know what's troubling him and what the idea might be, but we need to support this because it's about time. We need to support it. It's gone too long. We should be working on other initiatives, not making immigration waiver. Exactly.
And one more question about the young people, young Polonia or whatever, young people involved in politics, like the Pal-Pac. There's a lot of young people of it. What do you think about young people in politics?
When we got involved about 30 years ago, I was a young man. I didn't have a whole lot of interest, but as you get older, you grow. We need to have the young folks here because we need to hand over what we do, our legislative ideas, to the young folks because they too have good ideas. They have great ideas. We need to listen to them. We need to bring them on and bring them to these events so that we understand because we need to listen to them as well. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's nice to be with you.
Thank you so much. Same here. And I have a question. What do you think about the Pal-Pac organization?
Well, I think it's a good thing to have happen because, the Polish American community in Chicago and Illinois is significant, a major part of the economy, a major part of the culture of this great city and great state. So now to have an official political action committee to help leverage some of the issues that may be important for the community, I think is a positive step forward. I'm glad to be here to help launch it on its inaugural evening.
What do you think about the young people involved in that organization? How you see them in a politic world?
Well, I think there's a couple things in the fact of young people should be very sensitive and involved with where their country goes forward. And particularly those that come from a mother country of Poland and their heritage and their generations, to have the pride of their heritage, but then also to look at issues that may be to be advocated on their behalf. One in the federal level I look at particularly is the Polish visa waiver issue. I also look in state government on having more Polish Americans involved in the advisory boards and executive level appointments. I think it's good to have a politically active presence and particularly a community that is so much a depth and breadth of who we are here in Chicago and Illinois.
How you see yourself and how you can help in that organization? Do you think?
Well, and I think a couple of examples would be myself, just personally. I've been to Poland a number of times, so I know it and I enjoy it. But beyond that, I've also been very active in the various activities here, whether it's the Polish National Alliance, whether it's the Polish Constitutional Day Parade, whether it is Kazimierz Pulaski Day, whether it is Polish Independence Day, and participating in parades and festivals and speaking at the Polish Museum. And I will tell you one other thing that maybe some people don't know that much about. I am the treasurer of the state of Illinois, and I'm also running for governor of the state of Illinois. But in my office in Chicago at the Thompson Center, all of the artwork is on loan from the Polish Museum. So the artwork in the official state treasurer's office is on loan for the Polish Museum. So I've received a number of Polish government dignitaries in my office, and as they walk in, they look up and they say, and then they realize this is Polish artwork out of their museums here in Chicago. Yes, yeah.
A question about visa waiver. So do you think it's gonna happen very soon?
I don't want to speculate because that would be inappropriate to try to guess. I do know that I have officially embraced and supported it. I have contacted the congressional delegation from Illinois and told them, as the treasurer of this state, I believe it's an important thing for us to do as Americans. And and I look at it and I think about how much the Poles have been a part of America. I mean, ever since our first revolution to be able to attain our independence. The Poles were significant partners of ours in the military actions. And I look at what's happening in Afghanistan and Iraq, and the Polish army and the Polish military are partners with America in helping fight terrorism. So when you've got good friends like that on the international stage, my contention as good Americans, we should have a visa waiver program for our Polish friends, just like we do in other countries that have been partners with Americans.
So what about the so many deportation last days? So it's like it's a sign it's gonna something happen. Changes are coming.
Well, I think the changes will be coming. As far as the visa waiver program, we'll still see how that sorts itself out. I hope Congress does. I hope the president embraces it. I do.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Dziękuję.
Dziękuję bardzo.
Pal-Pac is very important because the Polish American community traditionally has not been active in raising money for not only its own candidates, but for candidates who support the causes that are dear to us and part of our culture. So to have a fundraising mechanism that's bipartisan, that it looks across the board at candidates and their credentials and will support them in political activity is very, very important. And I'm thrilled that Ari Zweig and the board have put this together.
How you see yourself, like how you can support them?
Because I'm a justice of the Illinois Appellate Court, I am not allowed to be actively involved in partisan campaigns. So, and I'm also not allowed to raise money, but I'm allowed to contribute. And so I'm happy to contribute to a cause like this because Polish Americans, there are 900,000 Polish Americans in Cook County. 900,000, that's 1 out of every 7, but they don't vote. And so if Pal-Pac does nothing else but get people to recognize the importance of their vote, making sure that they understand that when they vote, they have power and they get respect from the mayor, from the Congress, from the Senate, from the state legislature, from their aldermen. Those are all very important things. Not only respect for our large Polish community, but also respect for themselves as businessmen, as parents, as people who live in their own neighborhoods. And so voting really matters, and Pal-Pac can help teach people the importance of that, which is exciting.
What do you think about the program called Visa Waiver?
Absolutely. Why we wouldn't have visa waivers for Poland, a NATO ally of America, supports us with their troops, a good friend for all of these years, stayed with us all of these years, have contributed to Polish Americans and Polish immigrants, have built cities in this nation, never any trouble, and certainly not terrorists. So why we wouldn't have visa waivers for Polish visitors when we give them to everybody else is ridiculous. And anybody in Congress who doesn't vote for this visa waiver is just showing again why they don't respect us. And it is because I guarantee you, if 900,000 Polish voters voted in the last countywide election, there wouldn't be one congressman that was even thinking about not supporting visa waivers. But as Polish Americans, we need to reach out to our friends in other states and tell them, look, call your congressman, call your senator, and tell them it's important to you. Because in Illinois, we've got a good block. Congressman Quinn, Senator Durbin, we've got people who are helping us. Big Polish community here. The people in Colorado, they're not hearing from their voters about this. The people in California, they're not hearing from their voters. So if we have friends or relatives or colleagues, people that we know, people that we grew up with, family members in other states, we need to get on the phone and tell them, call your congressman and your senator and make it a top priority for them.
What Pal-Pac is, it's really an opportunity for the Polish community to come together, to have their voices be heard, not only locally in Washington, but around the country. And I think it is really a great step forward, certainly as we look at some of the big issues that are facing the Polish American community. The visa waiver program, for instance, or for those small business owners, there may be some other issues with regulatory issues or how difficult it may be to start a business. But like, for instance, on the visa waiver, it is such a critical program for, I believe, to have our one and a very good friend in Poland to be able to get into the visa waiver program. And by getting these voices heard in and around the greater Chicago area, I think it can put additional pressure on those in Washington to be able to move forward on the visa waiver program and include Poland in that very vital program.
So what do you think about the Pal-Pac? A lot of young people involved. How you can see them in a political world?
Well, what Pal-Pac's been able to do, as you can see with this with the show of support behind me, is this is their inaugural event. Not only are they talking about some of the older generation, but they've got some of the very young people in the Polish community coming together. They've got a youth board, in essence, a young person's board, which is really trying to engage the younger Polish Americans in the political process, to get them really excited about it, and to have them have a very strong voice in the issues that are of concern to them.
And one more question, how you can support the organization?
Well, I mean, certainly the support of the organization, I think, is critical. The stronger the organization, the stronger the voice Polish Americans will have. And so for those that are out there that may be watching how to get engaged, I would encourage everyone to go on and take a look at Pal-Pac and how they might be able to get engaged. If they can, come to their events, support them in any way possible, and make sure that their voice is heard. So what Pal-Pac's trying to do at this point in time is reach out to the Polish American community to find out what issues are really critical and important to them, so that they can amplify those concerns and be their voice locally and in Washington as well.
Few words about your re-election.
Well, what can I say? Besides, I'm looking very, very much in favor of trying to get back in and talk and listen to people about issues and concerns that they have. Certainly tonight is a great evening for me to be able to spend some time with the Polish American community about what issues are important to them. We've talked a little bit about the visa waiver program, certainly something that I had supported in the past in my time in the Congress, and certainly on some small business issues. We're going to see some of those other issues pop up this evening, but I look forward to carrying your voice to the United States Congress.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first inaugural gala of the Polish American Leadership Political Action Committee. At this moment, we would like to ask you to please rise for the singing of the national anthem of United States, followed by the national anthem of Poland, sung by our lead singer, Aleksandra Kurzydłowska.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome everyone, and thank you all for joining me in celebration the inauguration of the Polish-American Leadership Political Action Committee. By coming here tonight, you demonstrate your commitment to Pal-Pac, the new kid on the block. This evening, you will have an opportunity to hear about the organization and the goals toward which we are working. Pal-Pac is a bipartisan political organization that is concerned with promoting issues important to the Polish-American community. We have been in need of such an organization for quite some time due to the insufficient influence of Polonia on US policies. Pal-Pac will work to educate young Polonia on how to become more involved in the political arena so that their interests can be better represented in the government affairs. This organization couldn't succeed without the hard work, dedication, and financial support of our board. It is my pleasure to invite the Pal-Pac Executive Board members to join me on the stage. President Lukasz Fuksa, Vice President Mario Machnicki, Secretary Casey Chlebek, and Treasurer Janine Pavlus.
Where is Casey? I don't see Casey. Okay.
Come on, Casey.
Okay. I would also like to introduce to the other members of the board. Board members, please stand as your name is called to identify yourself. Janusz Barsz, Bogdan Bosak, Lidia Greszka, Jan Kryński, Barbara Martin, Michał Ploskonka, Bogna Solak, Tam Startek, Jerzy Szymański, Jolanta Zakrzewska, Bożena Cwajk, and two other members, Grażyna Buda and Isabella Roman, who are not able to join us tonight. And now it is my pleasure to invite our junior board members to the stage. Michał Kriński, chairman of junior board. Karolina Klarowicz, president. Monika Banasiuk, secretary. Ania Bieciuk. Michel Kłoda. Jakub Szymański. Igor Lipiński, our MC. I would also like to extend my thanks to other individuals who put in many hours of hard work to launch Pal-Pac and to make this evening possible. Our Executive Director, Kinga Aleksandrowicz, Chairman of Junior Board, Michael Kriński, who developed our website and created the wonderful Stanley video. My assistant, Michelle Kłoda, all the amazing volunteers, and of course my wife. Without her help, this wouldn't be possible. Once again, thank you all for coming to learn about our organization.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Before I even get into anything serious, I want to let everyone know that if anyone is looking on their phone for the Blackhawks score, please interrupt me and let me know if they score, okay? I've absolutely no problem with that. And speaking of that, thank you for coming out on a night that's so important to Chicago sports. But it's also so important to the Polish American community. And we could see that already by the amount of people that are here, and I appreciate it because this is our first inaugural dinner, and I think when we were starting this organization, this is the very most that we could have asked for. So really give yourselves a round of applause for coming out. This is what this organization is all about. Now, you know, part of what I'm up here for is to let you know what the goals and aspirations of the organization are. And I kind of thought about that, and you know, some people know or may know what those are and would think they know, but the way I kind of looked at it just happened to me. It was as a result of something happening to me just this past week. And there's a young lady here, Anya. She may not want to be identified by full name, but she interviewed me for an article that she was putting together. And she was about my age, and we started sharing stories of what it was like growing up as a young Polish American child and then young adult when coming from Poland with Polish immigrant parents. And we started thinking about things, and she said to me, you know what? I bet you went to Polish school at St. John Brebeuf. And I said, I did. I certainly did. And we shared stories about that. And she said, you know what? Tell me about some of the things that you encountered being among your American friends. And I said, well, I could remember having my parents yell at me in Polish in front of my American friends and me being embarrassed like never before. Anytime they spoke to me in Polish, I was always embarrassed. And we talked about foods that we ate, strange foods that we ate growing up in a Polish family. And I told her one story that she could barely believe. I said, you know what? I remember when I was in junior high, we were at the lunch table, and I brought my brown bag of lunch that everyone else had in a brown bag. So far I'm thinking we've assimilated pretty good to this American culture. But inside that brown bag was a can of sardines. And nothing more than a can of sardines. And I pulled that can of sardines out of that bag, and the kids at the table leapt from it, thinking I was playing some kind of prank. And one of the guys said, I will bet you $5 that you won't eat that can of sardines. And I looked at him and I was thinking in the back of my head without telling him, this is my lunch. Of course I'm going to eat it. I'll eat it for free. So it ended up being the easiest $5 I ever made. And we shared other stories, and there were other things I was thinking about as being a Polish kid, like having to wear leather slippers around the house. I know, raise your hands if you wore leather slippers around the house, because I'm sure as a Pole you must have. And so we shared these experiences, and you're probably asking yourself, why is he telling me this? What does this have to do with this political action committee? Well, you know what? Sharing those experiences, I realized right then that this is something that united me and that person, that united me and Anya, and made us feel that we were more connected than ever before, even though I really didn't know her that well. And I've experienced that throughout my life, sharing experiences as a Polish immigrant and a Polish American, and connecting with those people just because of that, just because we had parents with funny accents, just because we wore Polish leather slippers, just because we ate funny foods. And so when I was thinking about what's important with this organization, I was thinking, if those things can unite us, why can't other things unite us? Such as striving for success, such as really having a representative interest in the issues, the political issues that matter to us most, such as electing officials that will address those concerns. Those are the things that really we should unite behind, because I know there's common themes that are universal throughout our community that we should really be behind. And there's so many of us here in Chicago and in Illinois, and frankly the United States, that we need to have a stronger voice. And that's really the goal of Pal-Pac. It's uniting Polish Americans in order to have a larger voice. And I think we could do that, and I think there's no excuse. And I'll tell you one thing, when I was thinking about this, when people had asked me, well, weren't there other organizations like this before that came and went? And maybe there were, and I'm not going to say anything bad about those organizations. I don't know what happened then, but I know why this organization will succeed. Because the most important thing is to get our young Polish Americans involved in politics, in our community, and in all these interests that are important to us. And what we have now is people like myself and people like our junior board who now have grown up, who have graduated from college, who hold very important jobs in our professional communities and are able to unite and promote the interests of the Polish American community. And I look forward to that. So that being said, not only, I'm not the only one who's going to be speaking up here. You've already heard some things about some of the people that are here. And what I'm going to do now is, before I get to that actually, one other thing I want to tell you. Speaking of those issues that are important to the Polish American community, right here next to Igor, I want everyone to look at this table. It's a small table, but it's very important to us, and I'll tell you why. There's 3 issues here. There's the visa waiver program, okay, and that's for Polish citizens to be able to immigrate to the United States without requiring a visa. That's one of our issues. The second issue is the windfall elimination program. This is a law that the issue is to repeal or not repeal it. And the point of it is that if you make a pension in Poland, for example, for those of you who may have worked there, you would get part of that pension reduced in the Social Security benefits that you get now here in America once you retire. That's another issue. And the third issue is placing and electing Polish Americans in official positions and in governmental agency jobs. So I want you to all take note of those 3 issues, because what we're going to do is we're going to have our junior board and volunteers come around to your tables and ask if you'd be interested in buying a raffle ticket. And if you buy a raffle ticket, you're going to get both the stubs And one of those stubs you're going to hold on to, and the other one you're going to put in the bowl based on which issue is most important to you out of those three. Does everyone understand? And the raffle tickets have a cost, so you have to pay for them. But the good news is that out of each bowl, we're going to split it. We're going to pick a winner at the end, and each bowl, the proceeds of each bowl, are going to be split with a winner from each bowl. So you get to tell us what's important to you, and if you're lucky, you get to win some money. So please, as this organization, we need to know the issues that are most important to you so that we can represent those issues well. Hopefully everyone understands that. All our volunteers should know how that game goes, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. So now, I'd also like to introduce a couple people that are going to share the microphone with me tonight, and you've heard of them already, but I'm going to introduce them again one by one. First is our General Counsel, Ms. Paulina Kapuscinska.
Thank you very much. My congratulations, that was a very inspiring speech. I feel really strong energy, Polish energy. Dobry wieczór, good evening, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, drodzy Państwo. When I look at you now, I'm very much impressed. This is just the beginning, right, of new organization and very impressive, wonderful evening with so many interesting, but mostly very much devoted to the Polish community issues people. Thank you very much for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be here with you today during the inauguration of the Polish-American Leadership Political Action Committee. I would like to focus your attention on a few facts. Since I'm Consul General, I have to embrace more regions. The region of Midwest in general and Chicago in particular are by far the most essential centers of Polish life outside of Poland, and still this fact is valid. The state of Illinois itself has a staggering 1 million people whose ancestors had come from Poland. The Polish Americans in Chicago and in the entire Midwest have remained very active for decades in a number of fields such as business, culture, or education. It is Chicago that is home to the majority of the most important Polish-American organizations in the United States. Polish-sounding names are heard everywhere in this town. Today's gala is a proof of strength of the Polish community of Chicago and Midwest. So, let me say, let's be more and more confident go-getters. Let's aim higher. In other words, let's use the talent that is already in us for the greater good. Let's get actively involved in every aspect of American life. Let's do business, let's vote. And please kill the slogan, Poles don't vote. Let's assist each other. In other words, let's do it together. Yes, we have and we want to cherish the past. But above all, work together, inclusively, hand in hand with each other for the good of mutual interest, the interests of Poland and Polish community. And it's not that we have to start from scratch. For example, look how many Polish Americans, mayors and local leaders in Chicagoland were elected for public office in just a few weeks ago. as many as 24 of them. And much more is waiting to be done, the Polish way, to be done in the Polish way. I hope that with you and with other Polish-American organizations in Chicago and beyond, we can work on our success Polish story. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish the newly established Polish-American Leadership Political Action Committee the very best of luck and success for the work ahead, or should I say for the cooperation ahead. I hope that your fine leaders will further contribute to popularizing the general opinion about Polish Americans as confident and highly professional individuals who can unite not only in moments of national tragedies, which is very important, but also in moments of success. Mr. Chairman Ariel Zweig, Mr. President Fuchsa, all friends of Pal-Pac, thank you for your restless efforts, your will, your energy to support Polish community. Let me congratulate and good luck.
Thank you, General Counsel. Next, I know there's also a congressman with the last name with the end of ski, so he must be fitting in here very well. And that's Congressman Dan Lipinski. If you have a few words to say, I invite you to the stage.
Dziękuję. Dzień dobry. Very happy to be here tonight. My wife Judy and I very honored to be here. As you all probably know, I'm a Southwest Side Pole. My wife, it was funny you telling that story. My wife is not from Chicago. We met about 13 years ago. We've been married, it'll be 10 years in August. But one thing I have to say, she's from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. But the one thing that we share that is almost like we did grow up in the same place is we both have 100% Polish mothers. And I've learned that that's the key. So I'm very glad to be with you here tonight, Council General. I know we have Treasurer coming up to speak and my former colleague Bob Dole. But I just really wanted to be here tonight to support what we are here to do. Very quickly going through those three issues that were mentioned, the visa waiver program, we keep pushing and pushing and pushing. I am hopeful that we may be in a position now that we can finally get that done. This is something my office deals with so many people who come in. My district is the southwest side of Chicago and southwestern suburbs, including Lamont. So many people come in and say, we're having a wedding, we're having a baptism, and we need to get an uncle, an aunt, a grandparent over from Poland, and they can't get the visa. And there are so many cases that we've gone through, and it's very heart-rending to talk to these people who are just trying to get their relatives here for a special family occasion, and it's so hard to do. I'm glad we're able to help many of those people, but we need to change the system so more people don't have to go through that. Second issue, very briefly, it's funny, I was at 5 o'clock Mass tonight and someone came up to me and actually talked to me about the double taxation WEP and thanked me for support on that. But the third one, the most important one, when I met Ari at the Polish ambassador's residence back on Polish Constitution Day, I believe it was, and he told me about what he was doing, what you were all putting together here. And I've seen in Washington fewer and fewer Polish Americans who are in Congress. There are only about a half dozen. There used to be many more, and we've seen that here locally also. We need to do more to promote Polish Americans and get Polish Americans active, involved in the political system and in government. So very happy to do that. And I know we're starting to make some strides. I talked to Mayor Chris Wasowitz of Justice last night, and he was saying we do have young Poles who are getting involved. I'm very happy to be a part of that. So happy to see so many people here tonight. Thank you very much for letting me be a part of this, and look forward to working with you for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Lipinski. And next, we'd like to invite to the stage a former congressman who doesn't have a ski at the end of his name, but is very supportive of the Polish American community, Bob Dole.
Well, it's indeed an honor for me to be here with you this evening. But what is great is that we do have Polish Americans coming together tonight in the inaugural of Pal-Pac. And really what it is it's having your voice be heard. Because outside of Warsaw, Chicago's got the greatest population of Poles anywhere in the world. And so as we look at this inauguration, this gala this evening, is talking about bringing social, civic, and business issues that are most important to the Polish American community together, and using a strong voice to get them heard. The good news is that as we look at issues like the visa waiver program, those are issues where Republicans and Democrats, my good friend Dan Lipinski and I would certainly be all on the same page with regard to that. And you heard him just moments ago say that we're getting closer and closer from being able to get that visa waiver program pushed through the United States House of Representatives. I am confident that with your help and with your engagement in the process, we can get those things done. But it does require some additional work on your behalf. So I am excited this evening because this is an opportunity. And I want you all just to take a moment and look around. I want you to look at the space that we're in. And I'm going to do a little fortune telling. I think 10 years from now, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look around, and our ranks will swell. And this will be a room that will not be able to hold Pal-Pac. We're going to have to go to a much larger venue. So I just want to say, first of all, congratulations. I think this is an outstanding event. I want to thank the chairman, Ari Zweig, your wife, Bożena, Lucas Fuchs, the president, and your wife, Daniela, and to all those that are here that are working hard to make this a great success. I am confident that it will be, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you on the issues that are most important to you in the future. So thank you so much.
Last but not least, this guy's going to talk forever, I bet, is a gentleman who had just threw his hat in the ring for governor of the state of Illinois, Mr. and Treasurer Dan Rutherford.
No, I'm not going to talk forever, but Lucas, I'm going to talk about you. You know how you made it? You are a successful political operation and organization on your gala night. The issues that Lucas talked about, those in regards to bringing more of the young people that are of heritage of Poland into boards and commissions and appointments is imperative and important to do. Staff members, I strongly commend you. I strongly compliment you. And you know what? I've been around this business long enough to know it's not easy raising money. So to ask you to take a bit of the coins out of your purse and wallet to help a political action committee is a big commitment. I commend the leadership asking you to do that, and for those of you that have done it here tonight, I thank you. We can continue to build the presence of Polonia within the Chicagoland and Illinois to be continued to be the depth of deep and breadth to make us a stronger America. I am honored to be with you tonight. I congratulate you. Dziękuję.
Thank you, Treasurer. I think one of those Polish mothers that Congressman Lipinski was talking about has to adopt Treasurer Rutherford into her home because he's done more for the Polish American community than many other Poles I know. So give a round of, another round for Treasurer Rutherford.
At this moment, I have a great pleasure of welcoming to the stage the future of this organization, members of the Junior Board. Chairman of the Board, Mr. Michael Kryński, President of the Board, Ms. Karolina Klarowicz, and Board Member Ms. Anna Bieciuk.
First and foremost, I wanted to thank everyone here for gathering here at Pal-Pac's Inaugural Gala. It's a wonderful event, and I'm sure many friendships will be fostered today and in the future. But I did want to present myself. I am a member of the board. My name is Ania Bieciuk. I am actually a staffer for Governor Rick Snyder from the state of Michigan. I work with him in the office. And the main reason why I am engaged, and first and foremost flattered and honored by serving on this board, is because the state of Michigan has, just as Chicago, a vibrant and very large Polonia. There's really no reason why we shouldn't be a force to be reckoned with. There's many of us. There are Polonias, there are groups all over the state of Michigan and the United States that deserve to have a voice, to say, hey, we're an equal partner. We're here to be at the table with you. Our rights, our opinions, our communities matter. And Pal-Pac is certainly a wonderful way of displaying that. I don't know if all of you know, but just a little bit of information. 1 in 9 Michiganders identify themselves as Polish descent. Their parents, their grandparents are from Poland. That's huge. That's pretty magnificent. And so I think an organization such as this helps us to sort of reinvent and recreate ourselves. And I think it's really important. So once again, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to speak to you for at least a moment. And of course, the question goes to Michał as well. Michał, why did you join Pal-Pac?
Hello. I agree with everything my fellow junior board members just said. I mean, this is such an important cause for us to have. I remember actually the exact moment I realized that such an organization is needed. When I worked for Congressman Rahm Emanuel when he was a congressman in Washington, D.C., I don't know, here's a little bit of trivia. After every Congress Day is over, there are receptions held where members of Congress and their staff come and talk to different organizations, different societies, different leaders, and they talk about their interests to this congressman. They have a direct line to these congressmen. And like, for example, one of the best or one of the most known receptions is this Wineries of America, where you can taste all the wines from every state of America. And it's huge, and there's no coincidence that the same group has such considerations from members of Congress. So, I mean, there's all these types of receptions from like the WNBA, Latino leaders. There's literally a reception for every interest group. So, of course, during my time there, I'm waiting all year for this Polish awesome convention, this reception where we eat pierogies and drink żywiec and whatnot, and talk about what makes us Polish Americans and what issues we have. But that day never came. Now, it didn't. And I couldn't understand it. There's 10 million of us in America, and we don't have a direct line of conversation to members of Congress. How could that be? How is that possible? 10 million of us. The answer is there hasn't been an organization like this one that directly engages Polish Americans into politics and elects Polish American leaders. And I applaud Mr. Arizvike for launching this initiative. It's amazing. And I thank my dad, Jan Kryński, for making me aware of it, because it is so needed. And I believe in our motto that says, together, our voice will be heard. That is not a fake motto. That is real. And I challenge all of you here tonight to live by that and set our differences aside. You know, it doesn't matter if you're Republican, doesn't matter if you're Democrat. Set them aside and let's work on what we have all together in common, and that is being Polish Americans. Thank you.
Thank you to the junior board of Pal-Pac. We would like to thank everyone who made this gala possible. You can still sign up for Pal-Pac's memberships. Our raffle ticket drawing will take place at 10:30 p.m. In the meantime, please enjoy your dinner and have a wonderful night.
I'm very excited about Pal-Pac. It really is something that is needed. We need to get more Polish Americans involved in government and politics, and you really need an organization that's going to rally and bring Polish Americans together. So I think this is a fantastic occasion, great turnout to kick off Pal-Pac, and I look forward to working as part of Pal-Pac for years to come.
And a very important question about visa waiver. What do you think about that program?
Well, it's been very frustrating. As you know, that the visa waiver program Poland has not been admitted to it. I have so many people coming into my office who want to bring in relatives for a wedding, for a baptism, relatives from Poland, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and it's so hard to get those visas, and we help as many people as we can, but we really need to change this system. Poland has been one of the closest allies for America over the last 2 decades. And it's really not right that Poland is not included in the visa waiver program, and I'm going to keep fighting for that. And I have more hope now than I have in the last few years that we can finally get this accomplished.
Was a big manifestation in the last days, like past days, was the manifestation about the immigration program. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, for immigration reform in general, I'm waiting to see what happens in the House of Representatives. Right now, there is no bill. It looks like it might be done in a piecemeal fashion, but I think in the coming month we will know more about. First, we'll see what happens in the Senate, but we'll know more about the House is going to proceed. And I'm hopeful that I can be on board with a comprehensive immigration reform. Is waiting to see what we are going to have to vote on in the House.
Like for sure, it's a lot of like deportation. So do you think it's like because something gonna happen very soon in the immigration law?
Well, I think that certainly there's more hope now than there has been in a long time that something is going to get done. So hopefully that will happen, and I know that people who are here they've come here to work hard to make a better life for themselves and their families, and really have a lot they're contributing to America. So hopefully we can move forward.
Do you think you can help the Pal-Pac somehow? Any support for organization Pal-Pac?
Well, certainly I'm going to help spread the word about Pal-Pac, and I know that I have about 25% of my district has Polish ancestry, and I'm going to help to spread the word. And it's good to have an organization to point to and tell Polish Americans where they can get involved, and that certainly is critical to get more people involved in government and politics. And I think this is a great way to kick off the organization, and I'm looking forward to working for years to come with Pal-Pac.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dziękuję.
The biggest goal is just to get Polonia involved into politics, to actually have a voice in politics, have a direct dialogue with politicians and congressmen and their staff, and just actually have a voice in American politics, because right now we don't, and that's our biggest goal, our main goal.
Jaki jest cel organizacji?
Ja powiem więcej, my im pomożemy, młodym ludziom, żeby zaistnieć nie na Polonii, tylko w Ameryce. Po to jest cel organizacji, żebyśmy my z doświadczeniem tutaj w Ameryce, z doświadczeniem w biznesach, ale nie w polityce, żebyśmy potwierali drzwi dla młodych ludzi takich jak Michael. Dziękuję.
That was my next question, but you answered already how you want to support. So we know the old generation will support the young generation. That is awesome. One more question is like, what do you think about the visa waiver program?
I think it's incredibly important because I visited Poland last year for the Euros, and all my cousins, all my friends and family, they want to come visit us. And it's great for both economies because then Polish people can come to Chicago, spend some money with their family, and spend it for tourism. And I don't understand why we don't have it right now. That should be our main goal, and that's one of our main goals in this organization. Yeah.
So how you know it's a lot of deportation right now. So is it sign like anything will change very soon in the immigration law?
That's a good question because most people blame Polish people for getting deported or overstaying their visa waiver program, but it's really not about that. It's about creating a welcoming environment here for America for them. So then they don't have to stay. They can have job opportunities whenever they want. And I believe that it is coming down. Like Croatia and other Eastern European countries are already in the visa waiver program, and they have these same problems. And I mean, Poland is a huge American ally. It's one of the top, 5 allies of America, and we should have a preferential treatment with them.
Okay, so you represent the young Polonia in the Pal-Pac. Tell me about the goals.
The goals is obviously just to reach as many young people as we want. And people keep bringing up the young generation, but it's all about working together, the old generation working with the new generation. We can't just single out one younger generation and one older generation. It's all about working together. And if we work together, it'll just keep rolling and rolling. Like when we started this petition for the visa waiver program, everyone from every walk of life, young, old, doesn't matter, they signed it because they believe in it. And that's what we have to create, more things people believe in.
One way, take it. One way. me show you around while you sip your TG. But no coca loco boom while I take a completely. When I hold my baby, she say I do it nicer. I love a chicken red rice and lemonade. That's what you get when you shout that jumbo. Now I gotta go, you coco.
Put me up, put me down, put my feet back on the ground. Put me up, take my heart and make me happy. Put me up, put me down, put my feet back on the ground. Put me up, feel my heart and make me happy.
Now as I grew older, this burning desire became so strong that I bought me a ticket to fly over. And then I found you, and we fell in eternal love right from the beginning. Stars falling down from the sleepy lagoon, palms swaying under the moon, and we swimming out into the calm crystal sea. In that fateful night, I thought to myself, I'll do everything I can, save up every dime, and one day I'll return, come back home to you, and then I'll stay forever, forever.
Son of Jamaica, the dreams of Malaika. Our love is a sweet memory.
Na temat samej organizacji można tylko mówić na razie o zamierzeniach i zamierzenia są fantastyczne. Możemy powiedzieć o organizacji dzisiejszego wieczoru, która jest bardzo profesjonalna. Ja myślę, że już widać gołym okiem, że coś tu ważnego się wydarzyło. A to dlatego, że nie tylko jest dużo osób, które doszły do znaczących pozycji w środowisku amerykańskim, które są polskiego pochodzenia, ale również przyciągnęły osoby młode. Młodzi, ale już tacy, którzy osiągnęli pewien status zawodowy. I to jest bardzo ważne, bo wiemy dobrze, że bez tego młodego pokolenia nawet najwspanialsze pomysły długo nie przeżyją po prostu. Natomiast bardzo ważne jest, i to podkreślałam w swoim przemówieniu, współpraca, bo Chicago i cały środkowy wschód to jest miejsce o ogromnej liczbie osób polskiego pochodzenia od bardzo długiego już czasu, o bardzo wielu organizacjach, które zrobiły dużo dobrego. I ważne jest, żeby wszyscy chcieli współpracować. Każdy oczywiście ma swój pewien obszar, który jest indywidualny, niepowtarzalny. Więc z szacunkiem dla tego partnera, ale również z chęcią współpracy, wtedy można dużo zrobić.
Jak Pani jako konsul widzi siebie w tej organizacji jako pomoc? Jaką Pani może pomoc zaoferować dla tej organizacji?
Ja widzę już pewne zadania, już mam pracę domową dla Pal-Pac i przed chwilą o tym rozmawiałam. Parę dni temu upubliczniałam, zapraszam do odwiedzania strony konsulatu, zapraszam do śledzenia polskiego konsulatu na Twitterze, na Facebooku, bo tam upubliczniłam swój list do Chicago Tribune, gdzie znalazło się pewne niefortunne sformułowanie. Na przykład w takich działaniach możemy wspólnie napisać do redaktora jednego, drugiego i powiedzieć, pomyliliście się, albo zwróćcie uwagę na to czy na tamto. W przyszłym roku mamy ważne uroczystości, ważne rocznice, które są ważne dla Polski, ale tym samym dla Polonii. Chciałabym, żebyśmy wspólnie je celebrowali na różne sposoby. Nie zawsze może standardowo, po to, żebyśmy mogli dotrzeć do osób młodszego pokolenia, po prostu z przekazem o tym, co było, ale też i co jest, bo przeszłość nas kształtuje i dzięki temu możemy wpływać na naszą przyszłość.
Teraz chyba jedno z najtrudniejszych pytań, ale najbardziej nurtujących wszystkich tutaj imigrantów, czyli program Visa Waivers. Jak Pani widzi ten program? Czy są szanse jakieś, że granice się otworzą?
Jeżeli Wy nie będziecie przypominać swoim senatorom, swoim kongresmenom, którzy pracują na tym poziomie federalnym w Waszyngtonie, to niestety wszystkie odezwy, które bardzo ładnie brzmią, jak miasto przyjmuje albo jakiś lokalny senat, kongres przyjmuje różne petycje, one nie mają praktycznego przełożenia. Bo musi być to, że ten polityk tam wybieralny, tam w Waszyngtonie czuje wasz oddech. I taka organizacja jak Pal-Pac właśnie ma temu służyć. Grupować Polaków i mówić, to jest nasz cel. Ja tylko jedną rzecz muszę wyjaśnić. Pamiętajmy, drodzy Państwo, że Visa Waiver Program oznacza, że Polacy, tak jak inni, którzy są w tym programie, nie będą musieli otrzymywać wiz na pobyt turystyczny na ograniczony okres. Także to nie oznacza imigracji. Zresztą powiedzmy sobie szczerze, mnie jako Polce i polskiemu konsulowi zależy, żeby Polacy chcieli mieszkać w Polsce. Zależy mi, żeby Polacy mogli swobodnie i godnie przyjeżdżać na urlop do Stanów Zjednoczonych. I to jest ta kwestia. I o to walczymy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for our raffle ticket drawing. I would like to remind you about our three main causes. First one is to enact federal legislation to grant visa waiver status to Poland. The second one, repeal windfall elimination provision for Polish American retirees and defend fundamental rights to receive full social security benefits. And the last one, elect Polish Americans to leadership positions within our government agencies. We counted the tickets, and our big winner is number one, the Visa Waiver Program. Right now, I would like to invite our volunteers with the lottery tickets. The winning number, 217700. We got the winner? Do we get a winner? Yes, please come on up. The ball, we raised $1,040. So the big winner. Thank you very much. The winning number, 396767. 396767. For the last time, 396767. No takers. Oh, was that the real call? 396767. Yes. Okay. Big round of applause. The winning numbers were 3 sevens. 217771. 217771. Got it? Yes. Yes. Big round of applause to our third winner. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a wonderful night.
Umiesz w życie grać, świat z przymrużeniem oka brać. Gdy trzeba i nie trzeba w głos się śmiać i na przekór wszystkim zmieniać nagle zdanie, bo z tobą można konie kraść. Do rana tańczyć, we dnie spać. La mano arriba, cintura sola, da media vuelta, danza duro, no te canses ahora, que esto solo empieza, mueve la cabeza, danza duro. ¿Quién puede domar la fuerza del mar que se mete por tu pena? Lo caliente del sol que se te metió y no te deja quieta, nena. ¿Quién puede parar eso que al bailar descontrola tu cabeza?
in the club.
I'm loose, and everybody knows I get off the train. Baby, it's the truth. I'm like Inception, I play with your brains, so don't sleep or snooze. I don't play no games, so don't get it confused, no. Cause you will lose, yeah. Now pump it up and back it up like a Tonka truck. Dale.
If you go hard, you gotta get on the floor. If you're a party freak, then step on the floor. If you're an animal, then tear up the floor. Break the sweat on the floor, yeah, we work on the floor. Tonight we gon' be it on the floor. Tonight we gon' be it on the floor. I know you got it, clap your hands on the floor. And keep on rocking, rock it up on the floor. If you're a criminal, kill it on the floor. Steal it quick on the floor, on the floor. When the sun shines on the mountains and the night is on the run, it's a new day, it's a new way, and I fly up to the sun. Una paloma blanca, I'm just a bird in the sky. Una paloma blanca, over the mountains I fly. Yes, no one can take my freedom away. Una paloma blanca, I'm just a bird in the sky. Una paloma blanca, over the mountains I fly. Yes, no one can take my freedom away.
Zabiorę cię właśnie tam, gdzie jutra słodki smak. Zabiorę cię właśnie tam, gdzie słońce dla nas wschodzi. Zabiorę cię właśnie tam, gdzie wolniej płynie czas. Zabiorę cię właśnie tam, gdzie szczęściu nic nie grozi. Dość mam już pustych dni i świąt, których nie było. Między nami jest coś, nie zaprzeczaj mi.